we get some pretty interesting ones. I think one that I think is really interesting is like the whole gun thing, because guns are like, you can't have them here, like only gangsters have them, and they're like, oh, you go hunting? And I was like, well, I don't go hunting, but I know people who go hunting are like, oh, like the streets are so dangerous, there's so many guns and people get shot. And I was like I have never been held at gunpoint walking down the street, like not yet, like that hasn't happened. But they are just like, in America, that's what they think happens. They think like you walk down the street and get held up by a gun. And I was like, no. But they just, that's what they see in the movies, that's what they see on the news, different things like that. So I think that one's kind of funny.
And for me, I feel like their biggest misconception about me is that most locals think that white people want to hang out with expats, and that we have no interest in having a friendship or any relationship with them. And for me, it's the opposite. Like, I do not want to, I mean, I'll hang out with expats, but I want to hang out with the locals.
We're
like,
good for the locals.
I learn so much from them, and I just, that's what I'm here for. That's what I came here for. And so I think it's interesting when they get excited that I say, no, I would much rather have dinner with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is about relationships. I feel like relationships in America are very like, you spend a block of time together and you're friends. Like, we spent 3 hours together, now we're really good friends. But here, like, you don't get that because the culture is so fast paced, and it's just very different. So relationships take a while and they take time, and you have to be really intentional in making relationships. It's more about learning the person each time you see them and taking advantage of that rather than just spending a block of time with them. So I've really learned to be very intentional in making relationships rather than just, we're friends because we spent 3 hours together on Saturday kind of thing.
Yeah, relationships take time, friendships take time. You're not strangers one day and then the next day you're BFF. And that, I think that's, I like that. That's the way I grew up, and I find that those are the relationships and the friendships that eventually last. So it takes time, but it's neat to know that that's how they build their relationships here. I think my biggest misconception was thinking that Asian students, like especially kids, are these sweet angels, well-behaved kids. Like that's what I thought. I did not think I was gonna have to do classroom management or get any attitude from them. Boy, was I wrong.
Kids are kids no matter where you are, apparently.
So kids are kids no matter where you are. Students are students no matter how old they are. So yeah, that's my biggest misconception. It was my biggest misconception about that.
Yeah. Gosh, I think that one too, but I think about like what they would wear. Okay, first off, people wear whatever they want to wear here. Like plaid on green shoes, good to go. Like stripes on plaid on green shoes, good to go. Crocs are like a thing here. Like Crocs are like real life, like everyone owns a pair. Everyone. Even like big bird feet Crocs, I've seen those. So I just think like, I thought it'd be more like America, like you have outfits and like they match and like black on brown all day long. Like it's just very different, like the clothes and like how they dress.
So you thought that they would be a little bit more matching and not so much?
Yeah.
Yeah, the styles are different. Yeah. Very entertaining.
Hey, Crocs, man. Okay. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
But as expected, as normal.
I think for me, I didn't realize it until probably about 2 weeks ago. You'd think that it's gonna be like, oh, it's so crowded, you hate it, or oh, the food, or this and that. But for me, it's the language. And it only started about 2 weeks ago, where I feel very frustrated with myself for not being able to communicate, especially working with little kids. I want to talk to them, and sometimes I feel really left out, not intentionally, but because I don't speak their language, I feel left out of many cool things, conversations. And I've also had some like difficult situations in the classroom where students were like fighting with other students, and I was completely clueless, and kids ended up crying, and I was very frustrated with myself for not being able to communicate. That's my biggest one, I think.
Yeah. I think my biggest culture shock is like space. They tell you it's going to be small, it's going to be like your house is going to be smaller, like there's going to be a lot of people, but I just like never realized how many people there actually are here, and like how small places are and things are. And like walking in the MTR, it will be fully crowded, and I was like, okay, no one else can fit in, and like 10 people behind me fit in. And so it's just very like, and people touch you, and because there's like they crowd together in this space. And I think that was just very hard for me, like being from Texas, where there typically is a lot of space and there's a lot of room to move in, and being from a small town where that is normal, like having to come here and having everyone like right next to me when there's like all that over there you can walk in.
Have you noticed how we're sitting
next
to each other? We're getting used to it.
Yeah. And it's a process, and I'm getting better with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She can contest to. Yeah. I always had panic attacks at the beginning, but now I'm like, okay, let's go. We got this.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I think my favorite way to share Jesus is through stories. I get to do a lot of storytelling in my Saturday and my Sunday schools, and different schools let me read stories, and I really like being able to tell the kids like stories about Jonah and stories about like Abraham and all these things, like, and tell them why it's cool. And I just didn't get to do that a lot back home, and it's really cool to get to do that here.
So for me, it's also stories, but songs. So I love to sing and dance, and so I do that a lot with the kids at Sunday school and in the schools too. And it's just neat to kind of like go through the lyrics and talk to the kids about them and what they mean and how they relate to us. So songs.
Yeah, if you can send American cards over, and they do work here, and you can put American money on it and exchange to Hong Kong dollars, and if we go back to America, it will exchange back to American dollars, no problem.
We really like Starbucks.
We do possibly have coffee addictions.
Yes.
Possibly. It's not diagnosed yet.
Anyway.
But, yeah.
All right, so we thank you so much for all of your questions. They're very much appreciated, and we just hope you guys liked or enjoyed our answers.
Could laugh and learn along with us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.